Right, long time no video, but here we go. I think it's the first one of 2025. That's incredible. But it's been pretty wild, hasn't it? Basically, markets come down. Markets have come down quite a bit. Dollars storming up. Gold is doing well, one of the few assets doing well. Silver okay, all things considered. Miners okay, basically sideways, but if you compare that to the broader market, that's pretty good. And we'll talk about that, of course. First things first, though, DXY. I mean, I don't know where I last in my video, but DXY was pretty much up there, 109-ish, 108 at least. Yeah, 108, 108.50 maybe, but just going up. The next level I had is up here. We basically touched that. You could say twice, right up here, touched it. You can see why I've got it over here. Touched it, actually closed on it, 109 point something. I don't see why we don't keep going up. We could retrace a bit, but the trend is up. And fundamentally, I don't see why that doesn't change. But the good news is it doesn't really matter for gold. If actually I prefer it because gold is holding on. It's like sideways up, even though the DXY is going up. So imagine we go down. I do not mind the DXY going up. Plus all our stocks, unless you're in Canadian ones. I'm not in Canadian stocks anymore. I prefer the US ones. You always get this OTC version anyway of the Canadian ones, and I just like to have one currency. Yeah, but you're in American stocks, so you're benefiting from the US stock currency, let's say. And plus gold's doing all right. So DXY going up. Next level on the way up, I got 111. I don't think 110 is much. It was where we touched on Friday, but next level 111 on DXY, right? No point in really putting many more trend lines. This one's good though, isn't it? So I'll put that because it obviously counts. That could be useful on like the 50-minute chart. But yeah, up we go. Other than that, US dollar. Honestly, this is pretty spectacular stuff. US dollar, Japanese yen, just watch out for 162. That's system breaking stuff. Already where we are is system breaking stuff. And we're going to get to system breaking stuff because that's yields. Euro, that's going to go down to parity. They want it. It wants it. Maybe we just go there on the way to inauguration. We've got like, I don't know, 10 business days until that happens. No, no, sorry, five. Yeah, we could get towards parity by the time inauguration happens. Then let's see what happens. The pound down we go. It all makes sense. The DXY is going up. So much scandal going on in the UK. All right, so basically DXY on the way up. Let's look at yields. Yields across the board going up. Look at the 2 year. It's not about the 2 year. The 2 year is the most important one, but actually I think it's more about the 10 and the 30. I mean, you can see this is your resistance. We're basically going to go higher, aren't we? Look at that strong close on Friday. Up we go. Next level is going to be one of these descending ones, whichever one's right. Probably this one. Up we go to basically 4.7, right? As long as the trend continues. 5 year, don't care too much. That's going to go all the way up to this second last line in the sand. Then you got the last line in the sand. Again, 4.7. 10 year. This is huge. We've taken out 4.7, especially on Friday. Close daily basis. Next level is 5. Can you imagine 5 on the 10 year? That's system breaking. That's the system break. Um, yeah, we broke out basically. And that can happen in 2, 3, 4, 5 days. That's on the way to inauguration. So yields on the way up. Dollar will just follow yields, right? That's always what happens. They go up together. The 30 year might get there before. We've already touched 5% on Friday. We came back down, that's normal, but we still had a green day. Maybe next week we close above 5. Maybe we hit 5.10, which is basically the high. Yes, 5.20. We almost touched that, but 5.1. You close above that. We know that before. So watch 5.1 on the 30 year, watch 5 on the 10 year, and that should just send the markets down. And I don't usually follow the markets too much. I did when the whole system was crashing, but it's time to look at it a little bit. S&P, we've just gone up non-stop, right? This is the first crash, then we rallied. This took me by surprise. I did not think this would happen. We've gone all the way up. Best news is priced in everywhere. Of course, we can go back down, at least a little retracement, right? As the 10 year and the DXY go up, we can go down here, 570 or lower. That can happen in 1 or 2 days. And you could go down so much and still be in an uptrend. So no problem. They're all, I mean, look at that Friday close, low of day. They're going to go lower. I think on Monday we have a bit more red. IWM, and watch out with the bank stocks, right? Look how much they look like the Russell. IWM and KRE, this is the small banks. They look identical. We can go lower and hit this ascending, right? Especially if yields and DXY keep going up. We can go down to like 54 or something. I don't want to get into too much detail, but just looking at it quickly, of course, we can go lower. So dollar up, yields up, markets and bank stocks down, markets down. Let's look at gold and silver. All right, gold just looks formidable. Remember, markets are just getting butchered, and some of them are getting hit hard. Really, and the big stocks too, Nvidia's, Tesla's, Apple's, they're all down 2, 3, 4, 5% and all that. So gold is up pretty decently. Touch 2,700. Next stop, and again, if the dollar goes up, we go up too. Isn't that beautiful? Next stop is just above 2,700. Let's have a 27 close like that. That should happen tomorrow. But if we can get above here, especially here, actually, let's say 27.20, a close above 27.20, then you're really on to the next all-time high, like 2,800 basically, with a little pit stop here. You can see those 2 or 3 days where we hit a high. I don't want to make another line. I hate all these trend lines I have. I mean, I have them because they're correct, but that's your next one after 27.20, 27.50 pretty much. I might as well have it. It's quite an obvious one, I think. Just a pit stop one, but pretty much you're going for 2,800. So gold looks amazing. And remember what happened here. Nice bounce on this ascending double top, if you want to call it that. This day was horrible. I mean, this closed on the ascending. Look at that survival taking place here, that battle where you have this beautiful bounce, but really gave back a lot. And then the next day, that guaranteed a bit more continuation, like a few more days to survive. And then this again, another bounce off the ascending. And then bam, this was good too. And now, basically, after surviving all that and proving yourself, you have to go up here, especially with what's going on in the world, in the market. So 27.20 is a given for me. And then it's like a triple top breakout. And then you just keep going up. You're at least going to test 2,800. And then, well, then you're probably going to go to 3,000. That's what I see happening, especially after this little survival, these 2 weeks here. It's just beautiful stuff. Now, gold is doing better. That's what all the central banks buy. This Chinese central bank, they're not buying silver, they're buying gold. Retail, the big boys, big institutions, they're not really buying silver, but silver's going to follow gold a little bit. But you got that sort of contradiction. You got gold safe haven, up you go. But silver is supposed to follow gold, but the market's down and it's like recession, so silver wants to go down, but still silver ends green, and that I will take that. But you can see this tight pennant here. You got the descending, which for me is definitely correct. So you're touching this area here. That is an area. That is a resistance. We're going to call that, let's call it 31, actually, just to be sure, big round number. You can close above 31 just to guarantee that you broke out this pennant. Up you go to 32.2, let's say. So that's what I've got. I've got this sort of 31 and 32.2-ish for silver. And I think if gold goes to 20, wait, let me get this right, 2,700, you're going to have silver around 31, which is pretty close, right? Gold is almost there. And then you've got 2720, that next level in gold. You've pretty much got the breakout in silver. And then, that sort of 2750, we're going towards 2,800. You're probably going to have silver going up here. And then as you make, and now I'm going into a speculative future here by a lot, but as you've got gold going up towards 2,750 to 2,800, that's when you're going to get silver, going for this level or higher. And silver will just be behind, right? It'll just be behind, but it could have some of those big days like this kind of day here, one of those, bam, I need to catch up. I see what's going on. So gold and silver look decent. If silver follows gold and gold looks good, and a dollar goes up and gold go up together, silver could end up going up here. So that's cool. But let's look at the miners because the miners are they're even more stuck, like dragged by the markets more than silver. The miners are dragged by the markets. They're kind of sideways. They see gold and silver going up, so they very often start the day quite green, but as the markets just go lower and lower, because you can feel how weak they are, they just go lower. during the day, the miners, they just get dragged down. So they end up giving back a lot of their gains. It's a shame. It's almost like, especially Friday, the start of the day is so good. We go up a little bit and then it's just slowly getting pulled down by the markets. You still got to think of it relatively. Like it's nice to be green on some stocks. We'll check them out and sideways on some whilst the general market's getting crushed. But it's still a bit of a shame, isn't it? GXJ, I got here 46.50-ish. That was actually quite nicely tagged there on Friday. Need to close above that to then go higher. I do see this descending though, so maybe once you take that out, you're gonna have a bit of resistance around here, 48-ish. But I think we've bounced nicely off this low at least. I'm looking just at the upside. I'm not going to be covering the downside too much. I mean, downside, let's just look at, the last low basically. If we start following the markets a lot, and in an absolute crash, the miners do go down. I've kind of made my decision on that. You may have gold doing okay, but the miners will, well, we've seen gold get slaughtered when everything goes down and people just sell their best trades, such as gold, to cover their losses. Basically, everything goes down. The dollar volatility are the main two assets you can count on. Bonds, like yields may go down because people are buying bonds, but who the hell wants to buy bonds really, knowing what we know long-term macro? For me, it's like dollar volatility and maybe gold in absolute market rout chaos conditions. And but the miners, if it's between up and down, I would choose they go down. But again, outperforming on the way down compared to the others. But I still think we could have a bit of a move higher. I don't think there's an absolute market crash going on. You don't have the Nasdaq down 5% and limit circuit breakers yet. So we could just, I don't mind, sideways action with what's going on. All right, let's look at SILJ. Don't know why I'm starting with the juniors. Again, look at that. It tagged its prior support acting as resistance and just gave back a lot. Like the open was the high. I need to clear these charts up a little bit. This isn't really support at all. If you've got a little support, it might be around here, 10 point something. But basically, I'll just leave the low of day. I haven't visited these charts in a while. Just holidays, family, chaos. It's finally over, hopefully. All right, after this resistance, I've still got this descending to respect. So I'll move this. Well, now it's moved. It's probably here. I'll put it there. I want to cover both ranges because this level here is a level. You can see it was a level of support clearly. So I think it'll be a level of resistance. So you take out this descending. You might have to take out the horizontal just to prove you out the descending because you kind of got two levels. You kind of got this descending and this horizontal. So I'm just going to sort of cheat and put it in between the two. That basically I expect resistance around there. So 1, 2 support I'll leave there. We'll see what happens. Those are the small guys. Let's do GDX. Same sort of thing. The descending, it started on the descending, went a little higher, and then closed back down. You're back below the descending. I'm just going to leave that as it is. Basically, take out your close above Friday's high of day, and you've taken out the descending. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave the low as support. I don't want to get too intricate about the details. 1, 2, keep it simple. Next level will be here, and after that, to be honest, it'll probably be the next level up here. That's GDX. Still, kind of sideways day. That's not bad, all things considered. SIL, by the way, SILJ, I think it got some rebalancing there. Just destroyed the chart. But let me just go back and check that out. SILJ, look at that down here, that gap down. It was like down, I forgot how many percentage points. I wanted to bring that up. And I'm no expert in this. I don't pretend to be. But it was down, yeah, like 10%, whilst everything else was down 2. And I was looking at all my silver stocks, my EXK, CDEs, Hecklers, um, First Majestics, and they were just down 2%. I thought, okay. And I still don't fully get it. I think I read someone say it's rebalancing of the ETF. Probably was, but it destroyed the chart. And well, we're back here, but it wasn't a reality, but still it destroyed the charts. So I should have covered that when I was looking at it initially. Let's look at SIL, which I think also suffered because of that. You can see that gap down, but here we are. But still, look at that Friday, not great. Basically it was a red day. I added this little line just now before the video because that is your immediate resistance. It'll be Friday's high of day. You take that out and then you start to climb higher. I'm going to remove this one, even though it's clear support. I just feel like you take this out, you're going to go more than just a couple of cents. So next level probably up here, and you've probably got a bigger move going on actually. So there might be a big move in silver stocks. These are more of the silver seniors, and I'll leave and put this for support. I'll take this one out. It's just too close. There you go. That's your silver support and resistance. And again, if we start to move higher, probably all the way up here. So those are the miners. Let's look at my actual portfolio, and I've deleted so many of these stocks accidentally. My one of my children just stepped on the keyboard, just deleted stuff. All right, Newmont was actually looking quite good. Look at this day here, this Thursday, right? You see that Thursday? Sorry, is that Wednesday? It should be Thursday. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, there was no Thursday. Yeah, yeah, sorry, Jimmy Carter, whatever. Okay, so that Wednesday broke out this mini descending, and it was actually outperforming all the others. I thought, brilliant, we're going to move up to 45. And we did. We tagged it there on the open there Friday. But again, shame we gave it all, a lot of it back. But still, Newmont is doing all right. It's doing all right. I think it's finally found its bottom. I was buying a lot of the drops, so I think I finally got the bottom at some point. But if you keep buying, eventually you're going to get the bottom, aren't you? But it looks okay. I just think you have to close above, and this is one of my favorite chart patterns. You close above the horizontal following the descending breakout, which by that I mean Friday's high of day. So basically 40. Let's close above 40, big round number, and you can move up. Next step is going to be up here. That's what I see. You know, we weren't able to take that out for like 2, 3 weeks or something. What are we going to call that? 42.50. Then you've got this little pivot, 44, let's call it. We're like 1 week away from that at least. And then boom, boom, boom. We've got lots of levels on the way up, lots of areas to sell in case you think the market's going to go down. I would love that if Newmont starts to just break out and all that. But then I'm sort of hesitant, like, I think the market's coming down, the mine's going to come down with it. Or maybe there's another miner that's better. I would be selling into this just like bam, 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 all these machine gun sales. So I'm going to keep these levels in because that's the kind of thing I would do. And I've bought a lot of these drops. I think I've forgotten. I think I got 37s or something. I'm quite sure. So yeah, that's what I got on the way up for Newmont. The way down, by the way, would obviously be the low of the last 1 or 2 weeks. Barrick Gold, haven't really paid too much attention to it, but that's a horrible chart, isn't it? Like not the greatest bounce, just this weak ascending. And look, Friday we do okay. We start higher than we've been the last 3 weeks. We hardly go that high. We give it all back. Still higher lows. Let's still close. Can we close above 16? Can we do that? Next step would be 1650 prior support. I mean, that's not really that far. But yeah, once you get here, that's when you've done some decent progress. 1750-ish, maybe a bit higher. That's your next level. Pretty weak though. I think it's probably worth reiterating the low of 15 bucks. That's your level of support. Horrible though, just really weak. I just so weird. I know all in sustaining costs, Newmont and Barrick have been bad, but really, they've hardly bounced from their absolute lows. I think 2, 3 years from now with the dividend, it's worth holding, it should be way higher. But I'm not adding to Barrick and actually Newmont way too heavy in that. Like Agnico, I'll get to Agnico, but that's one that you can, feel reassured to buy at the drops because at least it moves up when gold moves up. But yeah, next level 1650, then 1750, and there's no point in re talking about anything higher because it doesn't really bounce much. So that's Barrick. Agnico, you see, look at that. And it's not like, oh yeah, but Barrick's so low it can move so much more. Yeah, but Barrick goes down on a day like Friday. Agnico goes up. You're probably still going to get more percentage move out of Agnico than Barrick, even though it's already made a crazy move. So just something I've learned over the years of trading miners. Just better to be with the good ones than trying to catch the bounce. And that's also why I gave up on juniors. My God, those days are over. So happy. So Agnico, let's get rid of that. That's now obsolete. Well, resistance is up here, 87. That was a pretty good day, right? Up 1.5, given what happened to the others. Outperformed as usual. So let's close above 87, then you're basically touching the all-time high. 89 is all-time high. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. And what happens after that? Boom, we break out and go to 100, and that will happen this year. They're just pretty sure about that. So yeah, one, two, three. Those are the three levels. On the way down, what's going to be the last low? 77. Don't see that happening, but if it does, you can be assured that the others are getting crushed probably more. So I'm not. That's all I need to say. No point in covering anything else. Beautiful stock. Next one that my daughter deleted, Pan American Silver. So we know the silver stocks aren't that good. I mean, compared to the gold stocks, but Pan America is still doing quite well. That's not the best candle. It's, we open at the high of day, 22, just closing in low of day, but we know what silver did and silver ETF, so it makes sense. Still think that if gold starts to move up and silver also, Pan America will move up and hold its gains and basically move to 23. 23 is a big round number. It should be your area of descending resistance. It'll take a bit to clear that and keep going. Next level will be 24.30 and then probably the all-time high, but I'll leave this one in because it looks good and it might be a bit of a pit stop. But those are the levels on the way up. On the way down, yeah, that might be a level gap fill, and then it'll be the absolute low from before possible, but I'm still looking at areas of resistance rather than support. Okay, that'll do. Pan America quite good though. Next is Wheaton royalties. Shame. Wheaton usually is quite strong, and I would have expected it to have done a bit better on a day like Friday. Let's delete that. Keep it simple. For me, resistance is going to be. Does that make sense? It's a bit of support, a bit of resistance. Well, you know what? No, it'll probably coincide, but your area of resistance is going to be really the descending that I just drew, which actually will probably be around where I was anyway with the horizontal. So about here, 61, 61.50, something like that. Let's put it in between. That's your resistance. Support will just be your last low, 55.5-ish. Yeah, you could go down there if all of a sudden things go bad. You could do that in 1 or 2 days. Next level would be there. Wheaton's good though. Something you can hold and sleep well at night. Next is Franco-Nevada. Now that is rare for Franco-Nevada to be outperforming Wheaton, but clearly it has been. And look at that, we took out this little level here, 125, kept going, really nice. Okay, we gave back, and it was basically a red day, but still we ventured higher. 129, 130 has been resistance for some time. We took it out, that's why I removed it, but maybe that is a bit of a level. Well, either way, Friday's high of day should be respected. So I'll add that in as a level. And once you take that out, yeah, I agree with the other two levels. Up here, 134 and then 137-ish. So that looks quite nice. Finally, could finally get to 140. Area of support, don't know, probably around here. I'll leave that. I don't see that happening. And then here and then there. Yeah, it's good to see Franco Nevada finally moving. All right, Metalla did so well over here. Lovely squeeze and just gave back so much. It did have bad news, but it's still suffering from the bad news. Unchanged. Okay, again, compared to other stocks. But first of all, support is around 250. After that, you got the absolute low, which is a serious buy, by the way, 2.3. I've got here as resistance. I don't really believe that too much. I'll delete it. I don't know where resistance is on the way up. I mean, here I can see it, 3.2. It's pretty obvious to me. But you're gonna fail somewhere before then, probably $3. But I don't see it in the chart. It's just a psychological um prediction. I'll just leave 3.2. Why guess? Why force it? And after that, small levels here. We're far from that. So let's just see if we can move towards 3.2 or at least hold 2.5. But very disappointing giving all this back. I sold very small amounts here. I sold $4, but which was quite obvious price support. But look how much we gave back. Quite a few of them have done that. So not the best, but at least it wasn't red, if I can say that. Okay. First Majestic, let's look at the silver stocks. Yeah, still haven't cleared this. We opened above it, we didn't close above it on daily. So I'm still saying $6 is a level to close above. Until you do that, you can't really get too excited. But then you've got one obvious 6.8 level of resistance. So 6, 6.8, and after that we're flying 7.5. I think if we're looking at these levels, we're going to be very, very happy, and the chart's probably looking good everywhere. On the way down, obviously 5.4. After that, not as obvious because we're probably flushing, but I'll leave this in anyway, etc., etc. There you go. Pretty simple for First Majestic. Let's just close above 6, please. Fortuna, you know what? It's so obvious I'm going to have to add it. This little, what is it? 4.6, got a bit of a problem at 4.6. Close above that, and then you can start hitting your 510 descending breakout. And then, yes, all these little horizontals are pretty obvious. Gap close, etc. I've had those for ages. On the way down, this doesn't count. It's just going to be the last low, basically there. Okay, that's what I got for Fortuna. Let's do that 4.6, Jesus. Okay, next is CDE. This one's okay. I mean, this is my favorite stock, but looking at the silver juniors, this is doing not bad. Already we ventured higher than all the other days before. Yes, we closed red, but we know what happens. So, market chaos. This needs to be cleaned up. This needs to be cleaned up. Also, that might be a bit of a level. I can see why. Support, support, resistance, support. Even here, a couple of days it touched it. I'll leave it actually because it's been such a reliable level. But after that, you got your low down here. So 5.6. This level is, oh yeah, $6. Big round number. Makes sense. This is now being recalibrated to here. It's going to be Friday's high of day. Once you take that out, then you can move to 7.45-ish. And then, 8, squeeze, etc. This looks okay though. I mean, imagine silver and gold start to move. Silver at 32, you're going to have CDE up here, which just looks so bullish. So this is actually really good. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to bother with the descending. It's just so obvious. Like, what if you're up here, the descending is going to count? No, it's going to be the horizontal. Descending doesn't count here. Very nice. And its little merger friend looks okay too. Look, the next level is basically the old high, 11.5/12. Heckler. This one reminds me of what stock was it where it opened up and then closed below? Forgot. Anyway, yeah, descending, closed below. Let's move this. We can say this is your level. You know what? No, it's just the pennant. We're very tight. It's still not authorized to break out of the pennant because you need that daily close. So now we move it a little bit. Pretty much just need to close above Friday's high of day to really confirm it. Let's call it 5.4 something. After that, up you go to 610, not even 6, 610. Yeah, 6 isn't a level. You could say 5.9 or 610. I'm just going to say 610 because things are probably going wild if we're breaking out there. Here I can clean these up. Boom, boom. The low of down here is going to be your level of support, 4.85. You got this next level just in case. Pretty obvious to me, 4.4. So those are the three levels to really look at. 1, 2, 3, and breakout up here. Yeah, very clear. Next, EXK. Now, I know there was bad news. I know it wasn't that bad. I know the market overreacted, but I didn't buy this because I've been buying EXK. I've basically been buying all of them kind of on the lows, and I haven't been actively trading in the last couple of weeks, and it's already been. I'm sure I already bought this area. I'm sure of it. So up we moved, down we came, and we basically held this level, right? 3.5 is EXK's level of support. Not the best candle there on Friday. We know they all had sort of bad days, but you could go, obviously, you could go low. And if you do, I got this level, 3.2. And after that, I got 2.8. I don't have 3, I got 2.8. And then I got here. We're not going there. I really doubt it. But yeah, support is there. The descending, I'm going to remove it because it's kind of failed and the horizontal takes care of it anyway. Let's see if we can close above 4. Close above 4, we start moving up to the next levels, and they're all marked, so I think I'm okay with the XK. Next one, MAG. Well, this now needs to readjust to that. The ascending doesn't matter anymore. We want to take care of Friday. This can be recalibrated up here. The low is your support. Forget anything in between. This takes care of the Mini levels just below. So what have we got? We've got mag silver at 14.7 resistance. Obviously, we've got a bit of support here, right? 14, big number. I'll do a mini line because it's obvious. And if we lose that, 13.25. But if we take it out, which I'm more likely to believe short term, well, if we take it out, 14.7, next level up is 16, just above 16, but basically 16. I'll leave 1620 as a level, but I think if you really want to sell, you might as well do it at 1599 or something. Looks okay. Okay, not great. Okay. Is there a descending? Yes, there is. Let's leave that too. It just reiterates the fact that this 14.7 is a level of resistance. Okay. Next one is ARMN, which I think I remember buying down here, so that's good. Okay, delete that. And I'll delete that. It's taken out that level. So now we're trading between a bigger range. I'm going to say 14.10, if I can say that, on the way up and 3.3 on the way down. That's a huge range, but so be it. And it's done okay there on Friday. Yes, it was red, but at least it was trading higher. I think it's possible. 14.10, 14.10/14.20 is doable. After that, you're going to have a descending, which is getting lower and lower. So I'll leave that there. And yeah, you've got these other levels here. So I think that's pretty clear. Very, very large range, but those are your obvious levels. Looks okay. I'm holding it, not adding, not selling, just holding. I am gold, very strong. I think very, very strong. Let's delete that. It's kind of done it. Yeah, I've got 5.9 as a level. Pretty much was tagging it on Friday. It's been there before. 5.9 after that. It looks strong though. You can see it's way higher than the others. It's running higher than the others. After 5.9, you've got 610, but the way it's so strong, I would just go straight for the 6 point sort of 4, 6.35 level of resistance. It's just strong enough to do it in one go. And you know what? I'm gonna delete that. So I've got 5.9 and then 6.4 resistance. For support, let's delete that. Let's just make it one level. 5. 5 is your level of support. If you start to lose that, then 4.6, etc. But we're far from that. Looks very good. B2 Gold, nice bounce off this extremely long-term support zone. It's ridiculous down there. And now we're fighting to take 260, which is just so low. This is just a buy. I mean, I'm holding. I think I bought here. I'm just holding. Next level I got is 2.9. I remember that. That's quite some way away, but you just hold. This one you don't look at, you just hold. Unless you got some event taking place in Mali, which could happen, seriously. But I think the worst is priced in. It's just so low. You can always get lower, but I'm just holding. All these levels on the way up, the horizontal ones, they're marked, but I'm not really interested in selling that. Maybe if we get to 3.5 up here, I might trim, but we're far from that. So I'm just holding. Right, Equinox, very beautiful. Strongest stock, I think, by far, I think. So look at this ascending first of all. Miracle of ascending support. It just works. Over here, it's also been decent horizontal support. So I've had that in for some time. But from here, must have been good news. Don't even know. Must have been good news. Bam, up we go. Now I had this level already in there. And I don't know if it's a level. I think it is 610 because you can see why we tagged it a few times. And I actually trimmed some on Friday. I logged in and actually trimmed some because I noticed Equinox was just up so much. I thought I might as well trim. I got a level here, but for sure, if we keep going up 2720, 2750, Equinox easily will be at 650 and going higher. So for me, I'm just gonna mark the level. I mean, I've already sold this, so I don't even want to mark it, but 650 is next. It's at this level, 610. 650 is next. After that, I don't know, probably 7. Yeah, 7 and then 750, etc. But it's probably time to throw 7 in a bit close to the picture. Support is just this ascending. I don't see it getting there at all. You need a lot of bad news to go back down there. and then it'd be really super strong support, and it would be higher too. So yeah, I don't even see the point in having the horizontal, but that would be the obvious next one just in case. SSRM, pretty decent, quite strong compared to the others. Now, obviously, we had this nice squeeze. I sold into it. We dropped. I don't think I bought this drop. I think I was waiting here, and I think I was buying others. I bought pretty much across the board. But this one I'm just selling on the way up, so I don't mind not buying it. But it looks like quite a strong bounce compared to some of them, especially the silver stocks. So this one, I'm just going to go for the old high here. Even though 8 is an obvious level of resistance, I'm just going to say it's ready to do 8.3 or something because it just feels strong. And if we're going up, we're probably going up because the metals are looking good and it's probably got the momentum it needs to go to the old high. So 8 is a level I should probably throw it back in there, but I'm not selling it. I've already sold that. So I'd probably go for 8.29 sell and wait for a higher move. And I've got them all marked here. 9, 950, 10, gap fill, etc. We'll look at those as the breakout happens, but I'm pretty sure I remember 9, gap fill, okay, 930, then probably, oh, there you go. Very good though. Support is going to be here. I wouldn't buy that. And if it's doing that, it's probably going to flush more and the whole sector's probably getting a bit drenched. That would be a bit of a shame. I want it to go up. I really do. And I want to just sell everything I've got. And as it does a gap fill and runs out of steam, close the whole position and just spread the proceeds amongst other miners when the miners go down. Otherwise, I'm happy holding DXY, dollars, sorry, and just earning interest off that. So I want to close SSRM. I think it belongs way higher, but my plan was to gap fill, and it's pretty close to doing that. Even though if you zoom out, it's ridiculous. We know a lot of them are. So once we've done the gap fill, as soon as I see weakness, I may just be dumping the whole position. Yeah, that's my plan. Finally, SBSW. This one revisited its lows. I didn't buy it. I should have. I mean, these are absolute lows. You know, palladium, platinum were also down, but it's done okay on Friday. It had a green day. This didn't really count. It counted for 2 days, this little 3.5, but pretty much didn't count. So I'm going to take that one away. But I do see resistance here, 3.8. After that, I feel like you need to give it some room. After 3.8, probably 4.3. So let me just redo the levels a little bit. This 3.5. So down here, you got one level, then you got this. So 3.2, 3.8, 4.3, and then after that, the old high up here. And I'm just holding what I've got. These are big moves, but you zoom out, it can really run. So I'm happy. I should have bought the lows, but who knows, we could revisit again. And if it does like a fake flush, I may buy that because it's super cheap. Okay, there you go. Very sorry for not having done a video before. Maybe a lot of you won't see this video because I think the algorithm is going to punish me, but I wanted to do this for myself. I haven't really been looking at the charts too much. Been on my little mobile, which I hate doing because I got this huge computer. And on holiday and with kids, it's just been basically impossible. But I keep saying it, but this year I'm looking to do at least 2 videos a week. One midweek, one, end of week, weekend like now. Hopefully not this late. And who knows if I can do more often, then so be it. But I really want to be doing at least 2 a week, and I really miss it. And it's good for me. It's not just transparency, but it helps me trade. So there you go. Anyway, hope you found it of value. And but it's very exciting times. So it is of value. I look at the other videos out there, and there aren't that many that cover miners in detail. They discuss miners, and it's great. I love listening to the podcast. I just listen to it whilst I cycle. But there aren't that many where I actually watch the screens in detail, and which is kind of why I set up this channel. But I gotta stick at it and do it more often. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let me know what you think.